Good morning. Good morning. How are you, lovely people? Welcome back to the Truly Myrtle podcast. It is Thursday, the 26th of January, 2023. I'm still struggling to believe that we're in 2023, let alone it's nearly the end of January. This is absolutely crazy. I missed you last week. I had to fly off and do something else, but I'm back today and I have a new background. I told you I'd do it and I did it. I have a new background. Behind me, I've pulled out all my yarn and it's all beautifully arranged. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about stash yarn today. Good morning, Sabrina Morena. Nice to see you. Let me know if you're in the chat. I can see a few of you are jumping on. Let me know if you're there. I don't know what the heading of this podcast says because I couldn't figure out how to go in and adjust it. So anyway, we're here. Happy New Year to you too. Lovely to see you. The sun is shining here. It's absolutely beautiful, pouring in my window. Although, guys, I was just sitting at my desk and I was just working away, thinking I'll come on the podcast in a minute. And I was working away and I heard a noise and I looked up and there's a huge cow about to walk in the door of my studio. So I thought, oh no, how did he get out? So I had to jump up and slowly maneuver the cow backwards out of the door. You don't get that every day, do you? Hey, coming to you from Rotorua. Rotorua? Is that a different Rotorua? Visiting with your family. Becky, nice to see you, Becky. You're back again. That's right. And you've got that beautiful yarn sitting at home that you need, but you'll get it eventually back there. Hey, Happy New Year. New knitting challenges. Exactly. New knitting challenges. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to this year. Hey, Maureen, nice to see you. You're home now. Fantastic. You've been out and away. It's a perfect time to go on holiday down here in New Zealand. Everyone's getting back into the rhythm of the new year and slowly kind of getting ourselves together and getting on with the year. But it's finally lovely summery weather. So we've probably got this till, I don't know when, the weekend. I don't know. These days, who knows anymore? Oh, excellent. Dirty Lace is coming along slowly but surely. Hi, Muriel. Happy New Year to you too. And Tamsin from sunny Rangiora. I think you guys in the South Island have had significantly better weather than us up here in the last couple of months. Hey, everybody. Yes, good morning and Happy New Year. Okay, so I have this new backdrop. I tried something different. This is not like me, what I've done here behind me. Here we go. I've got these. It's real yarn. I've stuffed it in. It's quite tight. I was just going to talk a little bit about stashes. Yeah, my stash has changed again because it was just getting a bit of a mess and I needed to organize myself. So I still have some, areas over there. There's yarn in these boxes and there's yarn in boxes and baskets down behind me. There's these wire baskets and bits and pieces behind me as well. And there's yarn down here too. I've got some empty shelves next to me down there as well, which will have more things go into it on the top. Up here, I've just popped yarn. I still can't quite figure out that yarn winder. If anyone can give me some advice on making a nice cake of yarn on that beautiful, beautiful Ashford yarn winder, I'd be very happy. I keep making mine. They just look like a dog's breakfast by the time I've finished with them. But there must be a trick, and I'm just missing the trick. I have to probably do it more often and really practice. I've put it up there for now. And I still have my summer yarn in here. There's a whole lot of summer yarn. There's actually yarn above me as well because I've got sock. That's all my sock yarn and little mini skeins and more random skeins up, balls up over there. But the guts of it is this is sort of my guts of my designing it's all about tensioning the yarn. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Have you looked for a video on YouTube? Oh, that's a really good idea. I haven't actually. So I'll go and have a look. And see if I can find something else. Do you ever have problems with moths? Look, I'm outside, and so there are moths everywhere. And so I will talk a little bit about that. Actually, should we talk about that first while it's on my mind? Moths. I think moths are a part of life. And so it's a matter of trying to work out how to mitigate the problems of moths as well as dealing with them if you do get them. What I do is I try and do a couple of things. One, I pull this yarn out a lot. I give it a lot of air and light, and I don't try and hide it away in too much darkness for too long. So I'll pull it out and I'll give it some love and I'll shake them off, and I have got a little spray that I've made that I wipe down the entire internal of my surfaces of these cubes with. I wipe the whole lot down. It's got a bit of lavender oil and is it eucalyptus? No. I can't, it might be actually. It's a little spray, and then it's got some other oils and things in it. And I just wiped the surfaces of everything. It smelled delicious. And so I cleaned it all, because the moth eggs are the problem, right? They turn into little worms, and the moths are evidence that there's going to be moth eggs. And so the moth eggs live in the dust. And so keeping that dust free is really important, and just giving everything a little bit of light and air and movement just to shake things off. So I do that. I touch my yarn, I explore, I dive into it, I pull it out. I'm looking at some of these that are stuffed quite tightly, and I do have to do some designs and pull things out. So I may give them a little bit more room. So there's a little bit more air between them. And the other thing I do is, in these squares and all through, I stuff really smelly soap. So the whole thing, it gets quite smelly. Moths don't like really smelly things. So you can use cedar. You can use cedar blocks and cedar balls. I have those. I think they need rubbing and reapplication of oils onto them sometimes for the little balls, just to bring out the smell. You can use lavender. I've got lavender sachets in there as well. You can use bay leaves, apparently, rosemary, pungent smells. Moths are not keen on pungent smells. But I also use super smelly soap. Some of my soap had actually lost a little bit of its smell, so I swapped it out and brought some other stuff out. And then you just got to rough it up a little bit and bring out the smell again. And I've popped it in. So I just literally stuff it in between the skeins. So I do that as well. So those are the things I do. If I come across something and I think evidence of a bug or an animal, because it's not just moths, there are other bugs. I mean, crickets are not great. You don't want to get crickets into your yarn either. They scratch it all up with their legs. But little silverfish, none of those things. So if I see evidence, little white, like a little white trail, or if I have a skein with a bit of broken yarn, which I haven't actually had for years, I have had in the past, touch wood, then I put things in the freezer and I just freeze the lot. Now, I'm lucky because I've got a great big chest freezer, so I can just throw stuff into it and just shut the lid and leave it in there, and then take it out, shake it off, put it back in the freezer. You want to kill those suckers in the freezer. So we do that. Some people bake them as well on a really low temperature and just bake them in the oven. I imagine your dehydrator or something would probably do something similar, but it might not be hot enough. Just bake everything on a really low temperature. I have done that, but only to experiment with it. I don't do that as a matter of course. I usually use the freezer, and I put things in the freezer, including like the little things that I've kept that my babies had. I keep those in a plastic bag in the freezer alongside my rice or some of the grains I keep them in the freezer just to keep them out, so that they don't actually get the moths in the first place. So those are the kind of things I do. But I think one of the most important things is getting them out into the air, letting the wind whip through them and the air go through them, a little bit of light. Like I said, I think some of these might be a little bit full, but I'll adjust that as I go on, just so they've got a little bit of room to breathe, rather than just, making it a little dark hole for a moth to live in, or any little creepy bug to live in. So that is the first thing. I also have this stuff out of the sun. It is in the light, but it doesn't get direct sun. And I'm conscious of that. But again, just moving it, keeping it not in the same place for any length of time is helpful to avoid any sort of fading. We have pretty intense sun here in New Zealand. It's very strong. So it's quite nice just to keep things from being in the same place at the same time. Anyway, you like my hat stand? Yeah, so my little hat stand, I thought I'd pop that there. That was my grandmother's hat stand. It's got her name on the bottom. And so I put a hat on it. I had a different hat on it, and I thought that one would be a little bit brighter. It's my little Kinner hat in that beautiful single spun yarn from Prosper. That I think it was a lamb's wool, actually. It's absolutely divine yarn. And I think that's her Goddess. Is it Goddess? I think might be the name of the colorway. It's just beautiful. It's similar to the color of my cushion, sort of that dusky pink. So I put that on the hat, and it's a little trickier to see. And then next to it, I've got one of those beautiful yarn bowls with some cottons in it that my daughter likes making dishcloths. I make dishcloths, but she's been making dishcloths. So I've got another stash of cotton yarn for her. But what I've done is this time I thought I'm just going to try something different. Normally with my stash, and I don't know, I'd be interested to hear what you do. Normally what I do is I categorize things by type and weight. So I still have that a little bit because I still have up there, that basket is full of cotton yarns, linens, that sort of thing, summer weight yarns up there. And I have got those just to one side. Now I have a lot more than I have in that basket. So, but what I've done is I've just incorporated into the whole thing. And I thought actually this time, rather than going lace weight, mohair, fingering, good for shawls, fingering that's good for sweaters, garment yarn that's more DK, heavy yarn, are probably just single skeins. I'll use it for shawls. Rather than categorizing it by type, I've just thought, I'm going to try color. I'm just going to try color. So what I've done is it's a motley rainbow, that is for sure. But it was really quite fun to do. And it didn't take me too long. Once I got started, that one over there, you can see I have green that could have gone in that one at the top, but I ran out of room at the top of that cubby. That's it at the top. It's pretty full. And the same with the blue, but those are garment lots. And then the grays are at the bottom, which are all sorts, but there's all sorts of yarn in here. And this one up here is mostly garment lots up there as well. But you see, I've got a lot of pink and red. Look at how much pink and red I seem to have acquired over the last few years, many years. I obviously like green. I haven't got enough blue. I don't think I've got enough blue. I think I might have to, but see, that's been quite interesting for me to look at it from that perspective is, okay, if I'm going to be buying yarn, I think maybe I might have done my dash with pink and reds for a while. By the time I go brick, orange, pinks and reds, I've got a really good range there. Up into the creams and then into browns and those sort of mucky purpley browns up there. That's doing okay. Greens, I think I'm doing okay for greens. The blues are more mixed. I definitely have a lot of the darker blue, and I've got more over here. But I think more blues, those cool, clear blues. I think I'd like some more of those. So it's been quite interesting from that point of view, separating it by color to see the kind of colors that I wear. Because I think it was, I can't remember if it was on here or did I say it? I might have said it. I think I did say it in Wardrobe Toolbox, actually. I have a memory of saying recently that we were talking about making things you want to wear. That you spend a lot of time, a lot of energy making stuff for ourselves. Do you actually want to wear it at the end of the day? Because I don't know about you, but I've made plenty of things and I've finished it and I've thought, yeah, I'm not really sure this is actually me. Or, I like it, but the color isn't really wowing me. Or I'm feeling like maybe it's not quite right for me. So trying to make things that you know you're going to want to wear. And I think we have a tendency, I have had a tendency in the last few years to go to neutrals. I keep going back to neutrals all the time. Lots of taupe colors and mushrooms. And I have got some lovely, more striking colors I have done, but I have this tendency to really go back to the neutrals, and I'm not sure what that's all about, but I need a few more. I want more color in my life. I'm really feeling like I want to wear more color. And so I want to be thinking about that when I'm knitting and when I'm planning to make projects so that I incorporate more color. And I did start thinking about that when I got things like that electric, such, beautiful, beautiful electric green. I thought about that when I wanted more color. And I've definitely chosen a few things here that are just a little bit brighter. Even the deep red is beautiful, but it's not as bright. I think I want a bit more bright color. So I was talking about how I keep going back to these neutral colors, and seeing it like this has actually given me a good feel of what I've got in terms of color and what I want to wear, what I want to make to wear. So I think that'll be really interesting when I go on. Massive difficulty of doing it like this. The pro is with the color thing. The difficulty is going to be, luckily I do know my yarn, so I can look at it and I know what I've got, but I might forget things. If I'm going to plan a shawl, which I'm just in the throes of putting a shawl together right now, I I might forget what I've got. I might not notice, and I'm going to have to pull from different places to get the bases that I want to go together. So that's a downside for me. And I have kept my garment lots together, but if I want to add in another contrast, I'm going to have to be thinking about, okay, so where is the anything else in this sort of weight? Do I want to use this sort of weight? I mean, it's not onerous, obviously, it's not brain surgery, but it is definitely, it might just, it might just bring out a different side of a different creativity. I think I might have to, I have to be thinking in a slightly different way when I'm wanting to combine things together. So that could be a little bit of a downside, that it's not organized efficiently for projects. It's organized for, actually, maybe it's organized for things I want to wear. Maybe that's what it's organized for when I think about color. Let me see some of your comments. Oh, there's an Ashford electric ball winder tutorial. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to go and look at that. Thank you so much for that. I don't know who posted that because it just says Facebook user. That might be you, Amanda. Electric ball winder tutorial. So mine's not electric, but at least I can see, like you say, I can see how she holds the yarn to give a bit of tension. All right, I'll try that. Tamsin says, the warehouse sells a product by Kiwi Garden. There are 2 moth traps. They're really easy to put in the wardrobe and storage areas. They attract the moths and they stick to the surface. I have got some of those, and I should put some out here. I'm always in 2 minds about those. Do they attract the moths? But I think they attract the moths. The moths are here. The moths are here whether we like it or not. There are moths in the world, and there are bugs. And so I guess we just need to either repel them away from places we don't want, but also maybe attract them to another place. Yeah. You can also get those little moth traps that are like triangles, and they have a little hook, and you hook those on. And I've definitely used those in the past to just, they attract all the moths, and then you go in and you can see these moths all stuck to them. But I know those ones with the sticky things, and you can put them up and you can put them on the side and you can stick to things. Yeah. Okay. So little moth traps, keep your eyes out for those, guys. And the color drifts look lovely in the background. Yeah, I like it. I really like it. I was ready for a bit of a change. I just needed a bit of order, I think. Go into a new year, a little bit of order, get my brain a bit calmer. And that was what I needed. So I did that with the colors. Tamsin said, I've finished my dirty lace and I'll definitely be wearing it. It's such a great knit and I love my color combination. Oh, that's really good to hear, Tamsin. Excellent. I think it's so satisfying when we absolutely fall in love with something and then we just can't wait to wear it. It is so incredibly satisfying. And the other thing I find really satisfying is when we've got something that we made ages ago and we still love it. That is hugely satisfying to me. Like I put on my top this morning, my Nula top, and I love wearing this top. I think it's a great blue. I love the fall of it. It's a good weight. It's not like super boiling here today. It's sort of almost boiling. And so it's really nice to wear. It's got a good bit of air around my neck. It's got nice flow to it. Yeah, I like it when I can go back to things and I keep loving wearing them. And I also love it when I have older things that I can look at with fresh eyes and I wear them differently because I'm all about make, do and mend. I have been like that my entire life. I'm not hugely into, I like making good use of things. And so when I have clothes that I love, there's something about it, or I don't quite love so much anymore. I do like to have a play with how can I love it again? I do like to try that and think about different ways of putting things together as I evolve and I want to wear different things. Someone else says, I'm almost finished Helia. So that was a wardrobe toolbox pattern, Helia. It was a beautiful shawl that we had at the end of last year. And it was knitted. I've got the yarns actually up there in one of the baskets up there. But it's this lovely, it's a woolen spun single. No, it wasn't woolen spun, was it? I can't remember now, but I think it was a single. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was woolen spun, but not a single. It was something like that. Anyway, it was very light and very rustic looking. And it had a big mesh body. And then it had the sideways lace that came around. You'll see it. I'll put it out towards in the spring, Southern Hemisphere spring. I'll put it out this year for everybody. But I enjoyed making that one too. Anyway, this person said, I can already see me wearing it all the time. I made it in the same colors as mine. Oh, I know who this is. Made it in the same colors as mine. the one I did, and I tend to return to browns and grays as a default color. Yeah, I made it with it was like a khaki, sort of a mucky kind of greeny brown, and it was brown really, but it had a real greeny tinge to it, and a cream. Oh, it does look just beautiful. It feels very elegant, I think, doesn't it? That color combination. Oh, it's you, Lynn. Brilliant. Telling me about the spinning. Oh, excellent. And I'm going to see you soon. So that'll be really nice. Okay, cool. Maybe you could show me how to use it when you come, Lynn. That would be really good. Finally watching live. Yay. Nice to see you live. So yes, I'm curious to hear how you organize your stash, because you might have tubs under the bed. You might not have a shelf like me. You might have no need for a shelf like me. You might decide that you don't want to sit in front of your shelf and talk to the world on the internet, and that's pretty normal. So you might have it in different places. I have got some big fabric bins as well that fit into cubbies like that. I've got some down here in fabric cubbies. And I've also got these baskets. My sister gave me a whole lot of baskets when she left that I've used, which I actually quite like, because I can see I sort of do it by project. One of the things I am thinking of doing, I was just thinking about it yesterday when I was wiping down the surface next to me here. I've moved some things around, and I used to have a bin for every project I was working on or thinking of going to. Rather than having them hidden in project bags, I had them in bins. I like space, and I'm like that with notebooks and diaries as well. I need space. I've got to have a page, big space to write things down. Anyway, I like that with my projects. And so I would have a project bag, but I would put the pattern and the needles and everything I needed in the yarn in these bins that fit into the cube, so you can see how big they are. And then I can just pull it out. Oh yes, I've got that's the whole thing. That's everything I'm thinking about. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes just next to me here. There are bins underneath that have got yarn in them, but I've got these cubes, and I thought, oh, I might get back to that actually, because it's a nice way of having projects. I'm thinking I'm coming to that, I'm getting to that. I can make some plans, put it together, put everything I need, and put it in my bins, and then I can just have the one I'm working on at the end, and then I can go through, and I've got a couple on the go. I can have them in my bins. And the nice thing as well for that is I just grab my bin and I can take it inside, and I can have it next to me when I'm sitting on the couch, or I can have it next to me if I'm in bed, or wherever it is. I just take the whole bin with me, and everything I need is in it, and I can throw my yarn in it. I have got some absolutely beautiful yarn bowls. But with the bin, I can throw my yarn in it, and I can pull it out of that, and it's not rolling all over the floor. So I do like having the bins. I've run out of bins because I've actually got some underneath at the bottom of the bottom shelf of here. I've got bins, and I've got bins down there. They're just fabric, they're just those fabric cube drawers. But I think I might get myself 4 more, and then they can go along the top, and I might put my projects in those. And that's sort of an extension of my stash, because I start thinking in terms of what's coming and what projects are coming. So at the moment, I've just put projects in the drawers, so I can see that what I've got coming and what I want to work on, because I just forget about things. You get busy and you forget. Oh, yes, I totally forgot I was going to make that little thing, or I've totally forgotten I swatched for that. And if I do it this way, at least they're on the go and they're live. You didn't seem to have an email notification with the link this week. Oh, okay. I wonder why. I don't normally send it. Anyway, I'll figure that out. But emails, I'll send you one in my mini mag tomorrow morning that'll give you a link back to this podcast once we're finished. So, yeah, stash. I feel vaguely more organized. I like it that it's all clean. I really like it that it's all clean. I've swapped out my cushions for some lighter cushions. I put some of the ones from inside back inside, and I brought these ones out, and I still would love to get my couch recovered one day, but that's not going to happen in a hurry. And at the moment, we just have new colors behind me and a new year ahead of us, and lots of knitting to do, and projects that are on the go, and projects that I've just finished, and lots of things happening. And it feels quite good. It actually does feel quite good. It feels like I don't know about you, but I feel like I love the expanse in front of me. I love the looking at a year in front and thinking of all the things I can do with it, and then just getting into it and chipping away at it and getting things done. I gain a great deal of satisfaction from that. Something I am missing out here, though, is some plants. And that's one of the things I would like to bring out here is a few plants. I'm actually really, really rubbish at keeping plants alive, but I might have a go and see if I can't make that happen too. And maybe I'll put some in one of my holes and you can see them. Someone said, I made an Excel spreadsheet of all my sweater quantities of yarn with their info, i.e. weight, how many skeins, color, potential projects for every reference. Yeah, that would be really nice. I like the idea of having it all written down. I would probably, I have a tendency to forget to look at the computer. One of the things that I'm trying to work on at the moment with the women that help me out here at Trudy Myrtle and Wardrobe Toolbox is we're trying to use a system where we have all our work in things we're talking about together on a system on the computer. And I'm the one who doesn't do it properly. And I'm the one who forgets to even go and look there. So I have to remember to go and look at the computer. I'm very paper oriented. And so I'd probably print my spreadsheet out and I'd probably have it somewhere. I'd probably have it on a notice board next to me so I can look at it and then I can see it and it's in my range of vision. That's what I think I might have to do. But I do like that idea because then you can just quickly see it. If you've got stuff that's hidden away, I've got stuff hidden away and I've forgotten, I do forget what's in there. I have to open the drawer. One of the things I have done, which I think is actually really helpful, is in these bins I've got, that I should show you one actually. Where's one handy? They're down there, a bit tricky to get all of them. But what I've done is where I've got bins, sometimes I've got balls in bins that are all together in bags, and so that's all one type of ball, but I've tried to stack them in the bin so when I look down into it I can see everything that's in it. So with the skeins I've got, imagine the bins not that full, they look a little bit more like that one. So when you look into the bin, the skeins are standing, and then I can look in and I can see easily what I've got. So when I look in the bin, it look a little bit like that one up in the corner. And then I can see, oh yeah, I've got a sweater load of that, and I've got a sweater load of that and that and that. And they're all much the same weight or type, that kind of thing. I've still got that in my bins. So that can be a really helpful way. If you've got a lot of things in drawers or put away, I quite like standing them up so you can see what's there rather than having layers of things. I tend to forget what's there and I lose them. Succulents are hard to kill. All right. Or maybe I'll try that then. I do have to get better at that. Yes, that's what I did too. Oh, you printed off your Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, I like that idea, printing it off and having it so you can see it and probably color code it. That would actually really help me. Okay, someone else says, my stash is kept in a bit of a combination of the ways you've mentioned. I have the bulk of it in an old timber luggage trunk, which I had DK on the right, fingering on the left. That's the opposite for you guys, I appreciate. And then in yarn type and color type. And this got messy because I kept pulling out to play with color combinations. This is the problem, isn't it? I have some in project bags, minis in a basket. My Advent yarn from Union Fiber is now hanging under the shelves. Oh, nice. My hand spun in a basket. It's a bit everywhere, really. I think that's the story of our lives, actually. It is the story of our lives. And so I think there's no like one way to organize your stash. There's just the ways that you're thinking of right now. That's about it. And then we'll evolve and then we'll try something new and do something different, I suspect, because I think you are probably like me and you dive in and have a look and gain a great deal of pleasure just from seeing your yarn and having a little look at it and dreaming of all the things you could make, not thinking about trying to push to the back of your mind, at least, the idea that I have more yarn than I can possibly knit in my entire lifetime. We don't even worry about that. We just push that to the back of our minds and we just enjoy the yarn in front of us. So moving it around and looking at it and putting it back and thinking about it and dreaming, so much pleasure to be had there. Shona says, I'm moving house in a few weeks and I'm so excited to sorting my stash. I need to see everything too. Yeah, it's like Christmas when you get it all out again, especially in a new place. I think you'll see it in a new light when it's in a new place. That's what happened to me, even from moving from inside out here. It's like it all looks different in a new place. It's really good. There's lovely Nancy. What do you mean it's not normal to natter to your camera? Nancy has a really lovely podcast, Knit Sip Happy. Go and have a find her on YouTube, and she has a lovely chatty podcast. So she knows that it's like normal, not normal to sit and chat to your camera. I know about that. Happy to catch you live. My husband is cooking dinner for me tonight. It's 5:30 on Wednesday in Canada. Oh, it's cold over there, but beautiful knitting weather. Shona has an old country Western Australia post office shelf, and it almost covers a wall. I would love it if you'll take a photo of that at some point and show us in the Hangout. We'd absolutely love to see what that looks like. It's really inspiring seeing how other people organize their yarn, because you can get some really good ideas about how you want to do it too. So if you have a yarn stash and you have put a little bit of thought, or maybe no thought, into organizing it, or you think someone else, you want to have some ideas about how to do it, or maybe you thought some other people might be interested in this, take a photo. You don't have to be in the photo, and post it in the Hangout. And let's have a little look over here on Facebook, and let's have a little look and see what inspiration can be had from looking at other people's stashes. We're in that kind of we're not really at the end of summer here. We're hopefully just getting started. But before we move into the next phase of seasons and the next phase of knitting, whether it's you're going to warm up and get into more summer knitting, or you're going to cool down and get into your autumn winter knitting, it would be really nice. It's a nice opportunity to get yourself sorted and sort out your stash and have a little play and show us what you're doing. Excellent. Shona's going to show us once she's moved. That sounds really good. Okay, everybody. Well, I will see you soon. I actually won't see you next week, but I will see you the week after. So we've got lots of short weeks in the next couple of weeks here in New Zealand. It's holiday time. So we've got short weeks next week, this week and next week, and the week after have all been short weeks for me. But I will see you on what will it be then? It'll be the week beginning the 6th of February. I'll be back to see you. And then I'm in. And then I'm in. And then I'm back. And then I'll see you every Thursday. So, I'm going to read you this last comment, though, because it's really good. I keep my stash in the cases that duvets and pillows come in. You know, those, are they plastic ones or are they the fabric ones? You can get both. When purchasing those items, part of my decision on what duvet I buy is what case or cover it comes in. Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. Oh, and a friend of mine has a craft room with great shelves for her yarn and glass-fronted cupboard for more yarn and quilts. I'm very envious. Oh, the glass-fronted cupboards. Imagine. They are clear. Oh, right. So this is the bags. They're clear, so I can see what I have, and they have material size for breathability. Oh, they would be good. I know those. And they hold their shape too. So they wouldn't be all collapsible and transportable. Yeah, brilliant. All right, everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing what stashes you have out there and how you organize yours. Drop us a photo in the Hangout over on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to come and join our Hangout, just search up Truly Myrtle on Facebook and you'll find the page, but you'll also see a group. We have a group over there, so come and join us. We'd love to see you. I will not catch you next week, but I will be with you the week after. If you want to stay in touch with me and you want to hear what's happening, if you want to hear about new patterns, if you want to get quick links to these podcasts when you can't catch them live, do sign up to my mini mag, my newsletter, and you just go to trulymyrtle.com/mini mag, trulymyrtle.com/mini mag, one word, and just put your name down, and then I'll just send you an email every week, and I'll put links to this, links to patterns, links to new patterns, discount codes, just a general little chatter every week. They're not really, really long. They're just nice and quick. You can scan through and see what's up over here at Truly Myrtle and what knitting inspiration you need for the week. So I will catch you later. Do lots of knitting, organize those stashes, fondle that yarn, and I will see you soon. See you later, everybody. Bye.